All right, let's look at the homework 3.4, problem number 8. All right, 8 feet of wires is to be used to form a square and a circle. And we want to express the sum of the areas of the square and the circle. All right, so let's do that. All right, so you have a 8 feet wire total, and I'm gonna use the 4x of the a portion of it to form a square. All right, and the rest of it, which is going to be 8 minus 4x feet, is going to be used to form a circle. All right, for the circle part, let's see, circumference of the circle is 2 pi r, and this has to match 8 minus 4x. All right, so we can solve for this equation for r by dividing through by 2 pi. So r is equal to 8 over 4 x over 2 pi. Right? Since top is even and the bottom is even, so I'm going to divide top and bottom by 2. So we have a 4 minus 2x over pi. Right? So the radius is actually the same thing as 4 minus 2x over pi. Alright, so let's express the sum of the areas. So a of x is equal to, right? So area of the square is easy, x times x, so x squared. Then area of the circle is pi r squared, so pi, and r is, we just found out to be 4 minus 2x over pi squared, right? And we can simplify a little bit here. So let's see, you have a pi, let's see, x squared looks okay. And then you have here, you have a pi on top, but the pi squared is on the bottom. So you have a pi squared. So we can cancel pi on top and one of the pi, so there's going to be 1 pi left over. And then we have just the 4 minus 2x squared, right? And so this is the equation. So let's just type it in, right? So we have a is going to be x squared plus 4 minus 2x squared over pi. Alright, so let's check the answer. Submit for testing. Alright, I came back. Looks like we got part A correctly. Alright, let's look at part B. What is the domain of A? Alright, so A, let's see, x is going to be the length of the side of the square. So domain would be start from 0, so which means that you don't use any wire for the square, right? Or you can use the entire wire for the square. So you have 8 feet total. So you chop that into 4. So that will be the longest side of the square. So it's going to be 2. Right? And let's check the answer. Right? Submit for testing. Alright, I came back and looks like we got this one, part B, correctly. Alright, use graphing utility to graph A on its domain. Alright, so let's bring out a calculator here. Alright, so I brought out a calculator, so you go to Y here. Alright, so function is x squared plus and quantity 4 minus 2x and right parenthesis squared and divided by pi. Right, so we have that, and the window size would be so it's going to be from 0 to 2. So x is going to be, x min is going to be 0, and x max is going to be 2. And let's see, I don't know the y values. I'm gonna probably try 0 and maybe 10 or 8 or something like that. So I'll probably do 8. Alright, so then I'm going to look at the graph here. Alright, so this is a graph, and we can probably easily find the correct picture. Alright, first one is definitely not. It's a concave down here, and fourth one is not the right one. So it's either a second one or the third one. Alright, so let's see. So third one, it's going from 0 to 1. And the second one goes from 0 to 2. So this should be the correct picture. Alright, so let's check the answer. Submit for testing. Alright, it came back and looks like we got the correct graph. Alright, so let's move on to part D. Alright, how much wire should be used for the square? So how much for the circle, to enclose the least total area. Alright, so you can see that the smallest happens right here, which is going to be at the critical number. So let's try to find a critical number. Alright, so we're going to take the derivative. So a prime of x is equal to, derivative of x squared is 2x. Derivative here is, 1 over pi is just a constant, so I'll put it there. Derivative of that is put 2 in front. Keep the inside expression as it is, 4 minus 2x. And subtract 1 from the power, and then multiply by derivative inside, which is negative 2. So we have that. Alright, then we can just simplify this a little bit. So I'm going to just multiply out. So you have a 2x is there. Alright, so you're going to have, let's see, negative 4 over pi times 4. So negative 16 over pi, right? And negative 4 over pi times negative 2x, so it's going to be a positive 8 over pi x, right? So then we can just combine, let's see, x terms together. So you're going to have 2 plus 8 over pi x minus 16 over pi, right? We set that equal to 0, right? So then we try to solve this guy. So it's going to be divide both sides by quantity 2 plus 8 over pi. So x is going to be equal to, actually before that I have to move this guy over to the other side. So I'm going to just do that at the same time. So I'm going to add 16 over pi. So I'll do that first. Alright, so you have a 16 over pi. Then we just have to divide by 2 plus 8 over pi. Alright, so first thing is I don't like having a fraction. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by pi so that we don't have a fraction inside the fraction. So this is going to be a 16 over 2 pi plus 8, right? And since everyone seems to have factor 2 in it, so I'm going to divide top by 2 and the bottom by 2. So that we get 8 over pi plus 4, right? So that's the critical number. And from the graph, we know that that's the length of the side of the square, so that the area is the smallest. So I'm going to just type it in first. Right, so we got the 8. Oh, okay, I have to round answer to 2 decimal places, so I'm going to have to do that. Right, so bring out a calculator and quit to go back to the original screen. So we have a 8 over, and we're going to have a pi, so second and pi plus 4. Right, and hit enter. Right, so it's going to be 1.12. So I'm going to type in 1.12. Right? Then we need to find the radius of the circle, right? Is that what they're looking for? Let's see. How much for the? Oh, actually, we're talking about the wire, right? So we need to actually multiply the result by 4, because entry here, and then I'm going to multiply by 4, right? So it's a 4.48, of course. It's a 4.48. So that's for the square, right? Then the circle is going to be 8 minus 4.48. So I would put the 3.52, right? So let's check the answer. Right, so submit for testing. All right, I came back and looks like we got this one correctly. All right, so the second part of the question is how much wire should be used for the square and how much for the circle, to enclose the greatest total area. All right, so if you look at the picture here, right, and the best way would be right here. This is the highest point, which means that the x equals 0. So which means that you use none of the wire for the square and you use all the wire for the circle. Alright, so let's do that. So square is going to be 0 and for the circle you use 8. Alright, let's check the answer. Submit for testing. Alright, I came back and it looks like we got this one correctly as well. Alright, that's it. I hope that this was clear.